Greetings everyone, here's Lodrick and this is a game War in the Pacific Advanced Edition. This is my play-by-email match against KilRoy. He is the commander of the Allied Forces and for me it is the Empire of Japan. This is now 11th May 42. So last turn my India Ocean Carrier task force attacked Colombo, sunk some cargo ships and tankers. Nothing militarily really important equipment. The air battles was okay. I lost a bunch of zeros and KilRoy lost many of his hurricanes. And yeah, I think pilots we kill each other maybe equally. I think it's okay because the British, I think they don't get too much reinforcement. So the kill ratio 1-to-1, the Japanese against British is better than against the Americans. And the rest was not too active. So let's see, my new Pacific Carrier Strike Force will arrive at Saipan. So maybe I can catch there some cargo ships and create a little more firework. So this is first Nagato and Mutsu. I sent them more or less in to check the situation at, I think this was now Saipan or Pagan, I'm not so sure. I find here 2 enemy destroyers. I mean, I can keep it now running. Maybe we can see some fun. This is now daytime already? Or it's still nighttime? It's always so hard to see. Because we have here only 7% moonlight, so if it's nighttime then we will not see any hit normally. So there's a 1 destroyer and 1 APD. So a real frontline destroyer and a fast transport destroyer. And torpedoes out of this range will normally never hit something, not at destroyers. But here I have a 16-inch or 40-centimeter hit on the destroyer. Yeah, maybe you hear some background noise. It's the neighbor, the house getting some new drilling for the heat pump. Before they had a air heat pump. Now they're going for soil, deep drilling. So it's maybe a little noisy. Good, so my destroyer is also landing here some hits. So the enemy destroyer is, I think, now already not more in good shape. Still, it's of course a waste to use your main battery. I mean, I'm not so sure if the battleships will use the all guns they have, because normally I would say only use secondary batteries against the destroyer if I'm the commander of the battleship. It's simply too expensive and waste of ammunition for a destroyer to use the main batteries. But yeah. So we have a 5-inch shell hit on Mutsu. Of course this will bounce off. And here we have a next heavy hit. Somehow the destroyer survives this. I think these shells are maybe, I don't know if there's something like over penetration in this game. That they simply pass the ship hull and don't make explosion. So the only really critical moment would be here if the enemy American destroyers coming in torpedo range and can make a successful torpedo attack on my battleships. This is the only really critical aspect. All the rest is normally turkey shooting here. Yeah, the Morris is of course dead. Dead in water. You can see how fast now it hits and how many shells hitting this ship. And now it's over. So Stringham is now also already very slow. Yeah, this is now the end. There's nothing really, no hope for the Americans to do. Both ships sunk. One shell hit on Mutsu, but it's only a surface hit. So that was successful. And it looks like my carrier's finding at least a tanker, plus additional ships in Saipan. In Guam. In compared to Colombo is here without any air cover. So I don't much worry to losing here too many of my scout airplanes or search. But out of Pagan, there are some dive bombers coming. And the great Japanese Pete fighters must save the day. At least they can try. But they are too slow. I think Pete fighters are really only good for anti-Catalina, but not for dive bombers. So we will see if there is some dive bomber attack successful. But I'm really not worried the battleships, because a 1,000-pound bomb is not strong enough to really damage a battleship. All of these ships have too much deck armor. Yeah, and again, no hit. So maybe the Petes really don't can create any damage or kills, but maybe they will simply lower the possibility to create a later dive hit. Maybe. At least I hope so, and this is why I use them. So no airstrike at Colombo, and no airstrike from my carrier division. Little strange again. This was okay. There was just the on-screen information that some air wing was not able to find the target, and I would understand, okay, I get feedback. Because of weather, there was no airstrike. But often I still miss this. I don't know if this is maybe only sometimes plopping up, but much more happened. But you don't get always feedback. I don't know. And I would normally also like to see this written down in a text file or after action report, not only on screen for 1 second. But anyway, the torpedo one was out of Truk finding the next cargo ship. And also loaded, but now maybe half empty already. So afternoon, my carriers are a little active at least. So we have a strike against Guam. The destroyer avoid all the strikes, but the next cargo ship with troops on board or equipment is sunk. So KilRoy tried to build up here some base forces or some defense equipment, but a lot of stuff getting killed before they reach their final destination. And here some after action report or some after additional bonus battle. Must be Guam or maybe Pegan. Pegu? Pegan? Pegan, I think. Pegu is in Burma. So one more destroyer is here. And Mutsu already gets a fire under control. There was some light fire after this 1 5-inch shell hit. Yeah, okay. And again, the question is if there's a successful torpedo attack from this American destroyer. Yeah, Mutsu gets an exit. So there was a torpedo attack and it looks like it's failed. And now it's time to pay back. At the end, 2 hits on Mutsu, 8 hits, and this destroyer is also dead. Fine. So, and this is now, I think, destroyer DMS maybe? Yeah. So destroy what DM ships. So destroyer mine layer, not the destroyer mine sweeper. But at the end they are all, I think, this outdated First World War class design of destroyers. This is why the Americans also convert many of these ships. They don't really have too much punching power, but for this kind of support task duty in second class role, they are still acceptable good. Good. I'm not sure if they really carry torpedoes, because if they don't have torpedoes, they are normally no threat for me. So I can maybe speed this up. Yeah, looks like only some shelling. That was Saipan, okay. And now the light cruiser in Gisborne. Creating some damage, but not too much. Some sinking. And some American forces arriving here at the next Japanese island. Not a really, I mean, I don't care so much. Good, some American or Australian allied forces arrived in Hamilton last turn, so I kicked them back. They're not strong enough to take on a division. Well, time to test how strong is the defense in Rangoon. Still 1000 attack value. But I bring in some heavy air. I think, before I don't have the heavy guns, now I have heavy guns. And you can see with this kind of guns, I'm able to create some damage. And now it's the first time that the Chinese really attacking me. And we saw that he has 10,000 attack value or more. And I have only roughly 1,000. I have the terrain and I have triple forts, but I'm not sure if this is enough. I can hold the line. You can see the roughly 10,000 attack value go down to 5,000. Then my 1,000 go up to 3,000. But still, this is of course not enough to stop this attack. And I can create here some damage on the Chinese side. But I'm losing here a lot of guns. Most of these guns are only, I think, 75 and 150 millimeter guns, nothing really too special, and I cannot move them out more. I have to stay now here and keep and hold the lines as long as possible. But I will use here, I think, some of my the Chinese troops. I have here this medium felt artillery stuff, and yeah, they will die now. Here's only bombardment. More bombardment. And the Allies taking this small island. Fine. And maybe, I'm not sure, I think I attacked at the same time. KilRoy moved in with some new forces and he was in move mode. This is why he was in wrong ops mode. He was not in combat mode. Because he just arrived this turn. Because the rule of the game is moving first, fighting second. If this makes sense, I don't know, but it is like this. This is a game. Good. So air war was, I think, nothing really too active. I was able to kill 3 of these attacking Dauntless dive bombers going for Mutsu and Nagato. And the rest is small stuff. And 2 cargo ships go down, killed by torpedo bombers. And the one, or I mean, maybe a little more. I think this is not all, but you can see here some destroyers, Sims class destroyers, and Vickers class destroyers. They're all very light, 1,300 tons. This is second class destroyers for the Japanese. And they only carrying here. This is normally really anti-submarine equipment, you can more or less say. 3-inch gun. Good anti-equipment. I mean, the equipment for anti-submarine hunting is okay, but not for really surface engagement. The Sims class is with 5-inch much better already. And they having already surface and air radar. Good. So in China, the situation is now a little changed. I mean, nothing here really. Here's no change so far. But my block force, frontline forces will have a hard time. You can see that my 2 divisions lost already a bunch of power from ready to fight. Oh, and this is now only ready to defend. I think a third of this disabled squads will still take battle, or all of this disabled squads will defend, but only with a third of their real attack value or whatever. So yeah, and I have here this kind of guns, 12 centimeter, 15 centimeter, or only 81 millimeter guns, 75 mountain guns. So they are really not so expensive. I mean, even if I lose them, there's simply no choice. I stay here and hold the line as long as possible, and at the same time I try to get my Yenan army, because I have no other forces ready. I must move down the highway, take the train, go down, and then move here again. So this needs at least 1 or 2 weeks. I don't know how long my forces can hold the line. Yeah. In Burma, no real big change. I call back my carriers already, simply because the surprise was gone and I lost a lot of zeros. I could stay longer normally, but I choose to go away. I find here some ships going northwest, so not sure where they come from. Whatever they are. For some reason I have really no good information. AP? I try this, I can maybe try to think. Nothing around Perth. New Zealand looks so far okay. I was able again to kick back all forces out of Hamilton. Not that this really helps my situation of supplies, still very low or non-existent. But at least I try to fly. Yeah, still flying. Maybe today I can see something? No, not here. If I remember right, there's normally information that you will fly supplies. Or maybe I only miss it here. Sometimes, I mean, this text file is also not the best really to explain stuff. You can export this information, of course, and then you always need this third-party software to understand more of the game. I don't know. It's like the game normally, for some reason, they stop at 90% of the development, I would say, because there's so many stuff missing in this game to understand and control better without using tracker software, combat reporter or whatever they call it. You can use always this third-party software, but why it's not inside this game? Why it's not part of it? So the only other big advantage was, of course, the Allies take this airlines. This is not so important. My carriers are here in the center of everywhere, but I have here tankers again. I have here many task forces, but I don't know why the airstrike was not going out. Here's thunderstorm. Here's thunderstorm. Extremely overcast. Night rain. I don't know. Mutsu in Nagato, no damage at all. So this 5-inch shell hits really. They're not even creating some system damage. Nothing. Completely nonsense. But all heavy ammunition is already consumed. I would also say why you don't use your 14 centimeter guns much more against destroyers. It's also a little, I don't know, but this is fine tuning maybe. This is maybe too much fine tuning, but it makes no sense to use 16-inch shells against destroyers. Tja. So I will try to use my carriers to, at the end, isolate these 2 islands or the 3 islands, and at the same time I can maybe bring in my next invasion attempt. I think they're coming already. These are some cruisers for bombardment support. Ah yeah, and here's the Navy Guard guys. Yeah. I think I go first for Marcus Island simply because I want to get rid of this Catalina scout base, and I know that KilRoy uses to scout this sea. If I take this island, he's really blind, because I think Wake Island is far, far more away. Marcus Island is too near to Japan, and I don't like that he have some scout search crafts there nearby. Good. Yeah. Anything else? No, not this one. Anything else is engine production is fine. I showed this already. Aircraft production, nothing really more too crazy. I still ramping up the roof airplane, Helen, and yeah, also Nix. Now I have Nix under construction, but I only produce them. I don't. I think I have no air wing so far fitted out with this one. Nick is normally a heavy fighter, a BF 110 maybe. Not so heavily armed. But I think they are more or less like B7 or I don't know, interceptors. Yeah. I don't know if they are escort fighters. BF 110 is also no escort fighter. Maybe A&D. I don't know if I think I showed this already last time. So I'm closing in for the next month, so soon will be in November. The rest is still slowly coming. Need more time. There's one factory, or the second factory is also closing in. So the Tojo is also getting now some A&D points, finally. And the Helens is still coming. But the rest is still nothing finished. Need more time. Good, see you next time, take care, bye bye.